Welcome everyone to the video. Welcome to the channel. We're a little bit late today. um, I was just, feeling better. Got out, got a lot of sourcing done yesterday, which was Friday. I took my daughter out to Leonard. If you guys know where that's from, let me know in the comments down below. And I was tired. I fell asleep. So I didn't get to make my video yesterday and get it uploaded. So we're doing that today. Already did, went sourcing already this morning. We went out to thrift stores like we usually do, me and my wife, and got some cool things. Not too much out there. They might be holding back a little bit, or they might have been too many already shoppers going through there, picking through everything. Who knows? But we still were able to get some great pieces to get listed and sold on eBay. We're going to be talking about spreading your risk and being like Jesus in spirit of Christmas. I want to address one thing really quick regarding emails and why I have so many email accounts. I briefly mentioned I have 6 email accounts. I actually have 8 total email accounts. And it's all a part of spreading my risk. And, you hear so many people, they get they get hacked. Their email account hacked, and then that's it. Like, they have one email account for everything they signed up for. So being from my IT background, being in, just security, computer networking, I'm just really cautious. I've always been, if one account goes down, I have backup accounts to go. There's some accounts that I use just for risky situations, potentially risky situations, and some I only hand out for, most important things in my life. So that's one of the reasons why I have so many email accounts. But we're gonna like the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below, and hit the bell notification. We're gonna crack open some art. Well, not crack open because it's already been open, but some Ardbeg. Islays. This is an Isla Scotch whiskey. Islas are my own personal favorite. I said it again. I was going to try not to say that, but it's one. I really do like Islas, and the smoky Islas. There's just something about it. It takes me straight to my childhood. I really don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on what it is about my childhood, but it just takes me straight back to my childhood. But a really great Isla. Again, this is more, not everybody really likes Islas. It's really an acquired taste to for many. Some people, I don't think I've ever met anyone that just, has an Isla and they love it. They're like, oh my God, I'm going to go back and get an Isla again. I'm going to have a, or a smoked peated Isla whiskey. Because there are some Islas that are not peated, but typically peat is associated with Islas. Peated whiskeys are associated with Islas. But I know a lot of people they have it and they're like, I'm never having that again. That was gross, but that ruined all my taste buds. But I personally like it, and for me, a lot of it, yeah, it's a great flavor, but it takes me back. It's a memory. It's a memory in my head. So we'll do a little pour here. It is a little bit early, but hey, Christmas is next. Well, we'll do in honor of Christmas, a little bit more of a pour there. All right. Ardbeg 10, you can find this pretty much anywhere. Fairly common. Not as you can see, not as dark or rich in color as the bourbons, but still a very good 10-year. It's a 10-year, so it's fairly common. It's not anything that rare you can't find anywhere. Okay, well first, going along with the email, spreading your risk out. It's just something that I've always done because it's just a mindset I've always been in. When it comes to computers, computer hacking nowadays, back in the day, computer hacking was pretty involved, pretty, you'd have to know, you have to have some idea of programming, create a program, all that stuff. But nowadays, it's just so much easier you don't even have to really, hack into someone else's computer. You just send them an email, have them click on a link, and it'll take, it'll take all their information, I've seen it where programs can be installed over PDF files. You just click on a link, boom, automatically installs everything. So it's just becoming so much easier not to necessarily hack computers, but hack people. And that's one of the reasons why I do. Nobody's immune to it. Everybody can get fooled. I see these emails out there all the time, and sometimes they're really, really good. And I'm like, I really gotta just take a second look at that. But it'll be on an email account that, okay, yeah, I do have maybe I have a few things tied up with that email account, but it's not my main email account. It's not my primary, not one I give out regularly. And then I'll use different emails to sign up with different things. So keep people guessing, keep things guessing. Now, when it comes to eBay and or reselling, a lot of people and so one of the groups I'm in, used clothing is really, really getting hit hard right now as far as lack of sales. Good. Really good. Due to lack of sales. But right now, people that are in toys are doing really, really good, especially new toys. If you have new products or new clothing, most are used resellers, but you sell in the used category. But if you have new stuff, you will probably be doing pretty well. And then toys do incredibly well. Lots of kids out there. Lots of kids that want toys. Even adult kids. Movies, brand new movies might be doing very well right now. But, if you're stuck in the used clothing area, you might be, you probably are. And I know people that are, their sales are down right now. They may have had a great year, but right now, things are looking a little bit low. And in order to avoid that, in my opinion, you'd want to spread your risk out across several categories. I sell in over 20 different categories. And it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just the mindset, but I just don't like to be stuck to one category. For me, it's a bit boring. I don't just want to go to the thrift store and search for just do one thing. I don't like that. And you've heard me mention in my videos how, I don't like Target, Walmart anymore. It's just the same old redundant stuff all the time. Yes, I do need some of that stuff from time to time. But if I'm just going in there just to browse, I already know what's there. Why do I need to keep going there every every week, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks? They're not going to change over stuff that fast. Our Goodwills, our thrift stores, they change over stuff all the time, and it's always something new, something different. You see what I'm picking up? It's always cool, hopefully cool, unique items, but always different, unique all the time. One of the reasons why I don't use like the out of stock feature, I could potentially use it for keyboards because that's pretty consistent. But when you use the out of stock, it applies to your whole store. So really no purpose for me using it. But, I like the variety, but also with the variety, it allows me to be able to continue to be consistently making sales, even during times when one category is down or one category is up, or, all of a sudden one category got really hot all of a sudden, who knows, some influencer is pitching something and one category just starts blowing up and, I'm in a bunch of different categories. Hopefully it's one of my categories. So just being able to spread out your store across several categories can be beneficial to combat times of slow sales. There's pros and cons to both sides. If you are spread across different categories, it could be a little bit hard to scale that up. And if you're niche down to one category, it could be really easy to scale that up. You can spend less time in the thrift store. So there's always pros and cons to every side. And what I like I said, I love the variety. I gotta have the variety. If I don't have the variety, I'll be bored. I'll get bored very, very quickly. And I think a lot of people do like the variety. I think if, some people love just, the robotic work. There's some people who, will never be able to leave a normal 9-to-5 job. Working at the hospital, I see it all the time. People keep saying, oh, I'm retiring next year. I'm retiring next year. I'm retiring next year. You know, they're 60, 62, 63. They hit 65. I'm going to retire next year. 66. I'm going to retire next year. I'm 67. By the time you know it, they're like 70 some years old. They're like, I'll retire next year. You hear it all the time. But they get stuck in this, in this is my life. This is a part of my life. This is what I'm used to. I don't know anything else. They kind of get stuck in that, and they need that. They need that, and they like it and they love it, and maybe they don't say they love it, but the fact they don't leave is a sign to me that they love it. And they just can't see themselves doing anything else. They just love this one routine. And some people like that. I personally do not. I like to mix things up. I love different new and different challenges. You know, keeps me going every single day. You know, just the uniqueness that that I find out there at the thrift stores and flea markets and everything. Some people don't like that, but then again, like I said, if you want to scale it up and create certain processes that can be replicated, hire people, you're going to need to niche down. You're going to need to simplify all your processes in order to make that happen in basically an everything seller, someone that sells in multiple different categories. It's very challenging because, the weights are different, the boxes are different. It would be nice to be able to put everything in one exact carton or one exact box or one poly bag and send it on out. But it's not what I do. It's not what I like. It's not what I would enjoy. So this is what I do. I'm still not 100% completely done. I still have a little bit of congestion going on, but it's not much. It's not really anything that'll hold me back. Like I said yesterday, I was feeling great, so I was like, boom, we're thrifting, we're going out there, go. I've been out of it for about a week and a half. Let's go. Okay. Oh, I forgot to show. So I wanted to show you this, and the reason why I bring up Jesus or Jesus Christ, Christianity, is because, and the reason why I bring this topic up is because I sold this thing. I'm going to need to fix the picture once I open it. I'm going to just do it now and fix it on the fly. Okay, it's going to be really big. Hold on, or you won't even be able to see it. Now, for oops, what did I just do? I did that. I did not mean to do that. Did I mess that up? I hope I didn't. Oop. Maybe I did this. I need to do... There we go. That's what I wanted to do there. Okay. Now let's not mess with it now. So, this will be a bonus. What sold? I hope you guys could see that okay. It's a bronze, figure, statue, sculpture called the Divine Servant. It's Jesus washing the feet of... maybe it's a disciple of his, washing the feet. And the reason why what I sell it for, might as well tell you what I sold it for. $68 is what it sold for. Shipping was $14.40. This went in a box that was 12 by 8 by 6 box. So really cool piece. Made some great money on it. Now, I grew up Christian in a Christian home. I grew up going to church, Southern Baptist. Now, I learned a lot from the Bible, learned a lot about Jesus, and I definitely believe we can apply, you can apply the, what Jesus did to every part of your life. Now, it doesn't really matter to me what you believe, how you believe, what you believe in. I think we could take away a lot from different religions. I mean, when it comes to, Muslim cult, Muslims, I am amazed at their devotion. They are, I'm not 100% an expert in that, but I'm just always amazed at how devoted they are to, the rituals and everything that they have to perform on a daily basis. It's pretty wild, as opposed to, and I know a lot of people like this, who go to church, Christian church, Catholics, they go to church on Easter and then on Sunday. I mean Easter and then on Christmas, and then that's it. Those are those days of the year. So and then Hindu. I'm always amazed at just the graciousness, just the giving, the happy, the joyful. I'm like, wow, there's so much we can learn from a lot of these different, religions, Christianity as well too. But there are people in every religion, it doesn't matter, who be a little bit too angry, or who may be a little bit too selfish. It doesn't matter what religion. They're part of all of them. But this is just based on my experience. I just spent so much time with Christians that I've gotten to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, and I've read the Bible back, front to back many, many times. It's something I'm just quite familiar with. And one thing I've done later on in life is really, really dive deep into the beginnings, the origins of a lot of these stories that we find in the Bible, in Christianity. Like, where do they come from? Where do they begin? Because a lot of meaning is completely lost in translation. And I always like to go back. It's the engineer in me. I always like to go back, all the way back to the beginning and formulate my own opinions and my own thoughts on things. And so, a little bit about me. But either way, I think everybody, can take a little something away from Jesus's life, whether you believe in Jesus or don't believe in Jesus. Just the story of, in this sculpture, the divine servant. There's so many instances where, Jesus wanted to show how we should be, acting, how we should be behaving, on this world, while we're on this world. And a lot of it was being a servant or being in service of somebody, and we see it, we see the joy we get whenever we help, whenever we give, depending on no matter what your motives are behind it. There is a sense of joy that is in you, that, at least for me it is. Let me know in the comments if it is for you. Whenever you gift something to somebody, whenever you without asking, whenever, you help somebody, in need, you jump out and you just do it. There is a sense of joy that comes over you. And I think the story of Jesus is really, really all about that, all about, serving others. And, if we all did that, who knows what kind of society we would be in. The more and more advanced we become as a people, as a society, it just becomes more and more me, and less about those around us. It's just the overall feeling I get just from being on social media and everything. You just see a lot of that. It's just me. Look at me here, look at me there, look at me this, look at me there. It's not, oh man, I'm over here helping somebody. Or maybe they are posting that, but they're doing it for selfish reasons. I don't know, but at least they're posting it. At least they're doing something for somebody. No matter what your reasons are, I can't read minds. But just being, just think about that and applying that to your own business. I did a little bit of research. I was going into some accounts and looking at feedback and responses to feedback, especially negative feedback. The first response to a negative feedback is always aggressive. It seems to be like what I saw is super aggressive. And, that negative feedback, in my opinion, and what it looks like, like these people are taking it as a slap in the face. Like they got slapped in the face. And then how many times do we hear, you get slapped in the face, you turn the other cheek. Not that many people can do that. There are not that many people that can, accept that negative feedback, that slap in the face, and not suddenly feel anger or, how could they? Who is this person? But you don't know what that person is dealing with on the other end of the line. They could just be a mean person overall. And let me tell you, I met many mean people from different religions, Christianity and everywhere, who are just mean people in general. And you really just can't avoid them out there, especially in the the World Wide Web or selling online on eBay. You're going to encounter these people that are just mad all the time, and there's no way you're going to be able to please them. But we have to. I think we have to in order to be I talk about this all the time. Thinking of the consumer, thinking of the customer. They're not all bad. I don't encounter all these bad people all the time. Once in a while, I do. Most are really, really good, nice people. When people are sending you offers, I've seen it so many. I see so many people talk about it on YouTube. How dare they lowball me? How dare you send me that offer? I'm like, geez, just relax, take a step back. Maybe that's all they can offer. Who knows? You don't know the story. I do get offers from sometimes, and they may seem lower, and I'll counter back. I won't think anything of it. I have had lowball offers, and with a story attached to it. And is it true or not true? I don't know, but that gets me sometimes. When someone gives me this is for my daughter or for my mother or for my father or whoever, and they give me a little story behind it, that just based on the effort they put in it, sometimes I'm willing to accept it. Well, actually, most of the time I'm willing to accept it. If they give me a good story, I'll be like, all right, you really went through a lot of time and effort to go through that, and I'll accept it. I don't really get mad. Do I get lowball offers? Sure, I do. I have offers open on everything, but it's not common. It doesn't happen that often. And the way I look at it is, this is the best offer that they could possibly make. And sometimes I will go back and forth with people, and sometimes I won't. It just depends, on the situation. But I don't ever, the first thought in my head isn't, how dare you send me that offer? How could you send me a lowball offer? I get angry about it. Get angry about a negative feedback. Yeah, it's not good when somebody, send you a negative feedback and send you especially if it's dishonest, especially if it's something, like a negative feedback I got. I believe I mentioned it just recently. They said, this is not a fortune telling book, when the actual title of the book said fortune telling. I tried to get it removed. I didn't get removed, but I went in there, responded, I just said the title of the book is fortune telling. That was it. I didn't go into, anything else, but so many people do. So many people are, like what we used to call telephone tough guys, but I guess they're keyboard warriors nowadays is what you would call them. I think it's just, people that get tough behind, they're tough when they have something, a shield in front of them, but not tough in person. It is interesting, just a way to kind of, think about things, if you are Christian, you should be setting an example. If you're whatever religion you are, you should be setting an example for others, so that way you can show them like how great your religion is. Right? Isn't that right? You want to constantly be showing who you are, who you truly are, I guess. And if you are Christian, Muslim, whatever, Hindu, Buddhist, you should always be atheist, I guess. You should always be showing the best side, and whether or not somebody joins you or not, who knows? But I just think there's a lot to take from many peoples. There's a lot to learn. What you believe in is, what you believe in, and if you believe in it, it's probably important to you. Just a couple things really quick, just to touch on religion just for a second, just while I'm bringing it up, is, religion, when it comes to a religion or religion, it's you can't really prove it with 100% certainty. You just can't. It can't be done. You present all the evidence, and then you reach a certain point where, you kind of have to take it on faith, which is why faith is so important. Faith is very important. Why you believe a certain way, you're never, you can never prove it. Like I said, beyond with 100% certainty, you can't do it. So, which is why faith is so important with many, many religions. Most religions, I think. There might be some that don't. I guess there might be. I don't know. But, and then, one important story from the Bible was when the Pharisees presented Jesus with money with Caesar's face on it, and they trying to trick Jesus, and they said, they were talking about, this money, should we be paying taxes? I think it was. Should we be paying this to Caesar or what? Trying to trick. But Jesus said, give to Caesar what is Caesar's and give to the Lord what is the Lord's. And it wasn't necessarily referencing, maybe he was referencing money in a way, but more so, what does the money represent? The money represents a way to buy things in this world. It's how we all got to make a living. There's nothing wrong with having money and making a living, but the meaning behind it is really, really not, holding on to these things so tight, like in Lord of the Rings, my precious, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be money. It could be, a pen. It could be computers. It could be, whatever you collect, not holding on to it so tight and not releasing your grip, just holding on with a very, very tight grip and not letting it go. And you're like, no, this is not, just letting that stuff go. Anything that was, born of this world will return to this world. Everything's going to return, whether it returns in the garbage, to a landfill, whatever. It's going to all eventually return back to this planet that bore it. But give to the Lord. What is the Lord? What does he mean? Give it to the Lord. What is the Lord? Is give your life. What gives you life? What gives you consciousness? What gives you your soul? Whatever you wish to call it. That essence. That everlasting essence, that eternal part that makes us who we are, that is what we give up to the Lord, our Creator. That's what our Creator wants. That's the most important thing. That's the most valuable thing. Although sometimes we treat other things with more value. We should be, and I think that kind of leads to treating everybody, equally, being a servant, being able to provide the best service, is not holding on to all these material things so quickly. It also leads to, don't hold on to your stuff, so much as far as your inventory. Don't hold on to it so tight, Don't be so devoted to what you got and how much you got to get for it. Just, if you got to get rid of it, get rid of it. Make space. Okay. That's enough. I'm actually getting kind of hot. I'm actually getting kind of warm. It's still pretty cold around here, but maybe it's the whiskey. Enough about that. Let's move on to the what sold and what did we sell. I gotta hurry up and get this video uploaded, but I know I wanted to talk about all these points. They're fairly important and things I wanted to talk about and bring up. Okay, we have. Now, I wanted to bring this up. It's a robot. It has an app built into it. You connect it to your phone. You control it for kids. It moves around. It's interactive. You can program it. Really cool. Kind of a no-brainer, as far as, it has value. It's worth reselling. But the reason why I bring this up here is because, first of all, you might not have seen this before. I'd never seen this before until I saw it at the thrift store. Everybody was passing this up. Now, I went to the thrift store at night. So this had been at least, I forgot what date was on the tag, but this had been there at least since they opened at 10 o'clock. Our Goodwill's open at 10 o'clock and had been sitting there, just sitting there for $16, sitting there on the shelf. Well, what did it sell for? $75. We made some pretty good profit on this item, and it sold within about 5 days. So fairly fast seller. I was able to charge it. I was able to download the app, worked perfectly fine. Great item. And it's went in a 12 by 10 by 10 box. 12 by 10 by 10, if you guys don't recall, that is the standard dimensions that I always put into eBay all the time. It's a box I keep all the time. Even though I don't use it all the time, I do keep it in stock just in case. It does come in handy. In my video where I did the packaged up the, what are they? Martini glasses, 14 by 10 by 6 box. Again, another box I don't use all the time, but I do keep it in stock all the time because it does come in handy to have it readily on hand. And this went in a 12 by 10 by 10 box. Piece of cake. It already had its own packaging and everything in it. I wrapped it a couple times in bubble wrap and put it through in the box and sent it on its way. But really cool, $75. Everybody, it was just sitting there. I couldn't believe it was sitting there. I thought maybe something's wrong with it. I opened it, maybe something's missing. No, it was just there for me to take and make money on. So really cool, easy to look up. It's electronic. Electronics, easy to look up, easy to determine if it's worth it or not. Next item is a coffee mug. Now, I was a little disappointed. This should have probably gone for more, closer to $20. But as with that happens sometimes, it had a chip. Like, dope. I brought it home and it had a chip. I'm like, oh well, you know what? I already knew I was just gonna try to sell it as quickly as possible. Took a couple weeks to sell, but it sold for $10.21. We did make a little bit on it, maybe a buck or two, not very much at all. I was already under the assumption I was gonna lose money on it, but sold very close to us. It has on the opposite side, it has the KQED on the back. $6.16 is what the shipping was. Went in a 6x6x6 box, and sold fairly quickly. Even though I had a chip on it, still sold. Maybe if you find it for $1 or less, 50 cents. Pete's Coffee. Don't sleep on Pete's Coffee. I've sold Pete's Coffee mugs. They do sell pretty well. I know Starbucks is the big dog in the mug or coffee mug space, but there's other ones out there as well too that you need to keep your eye out for. They do sell well. This one was associated with KQED, and like I said, I probably could have got more for it. I probably could have got closer to $20 if it was in perfect condition. Unfortunately, it was not, so I was going to have to accept. I have to accept it and move on with my life. We still get it sold. We still got a great sale out of it, and like I said, we'll make a buck or two maybe on it, and that's about it. Oh, the good old Razor flip phone. You could still flip these. I didn't mean to do that or say that way or make a joke of it. But they still sell, and they still sell fairly well. They do get a lot of attention when you list them. The best ones are the ones that do work, if you can get them to work. This did work, so long as it's plugged in. You can still get batteries for these, and people can still use them. They can still get them activated. It sold for $14.90, and the shipping was $4.89. So you cannot pay very much for these. Maybe $1, maybe $2, maybe $3 at the most, because they do still have some pretty good velocity when it comes to how quickly they'll sell. But even with dead batteries, they still sell well, and they still move. Keep your eye out for some of these iconic phones. This is just, everybody had back in the day, everybody had a Razor phone. Everybody had one of these. They started, I remember when they first came out, and then they started mass producing them like crazy, and then they just became the hottest thing, and everybody had, just like an iPhone, everybody had to have a Razor. I don't think I ever had a Razor myself, though. I always try to stay, back in the day when cell phones were first, developing new features, I was always on the, try to be on the cutting edge. And I remember having the first phone, I think it was an Ericsson. It was the first phone that you can actually load MP3s on and listen to music. It wasn't very good, but you only put I think 10 songs on it, but it was cool. And I thought it was cool that I was able to listen to music on my phone. Nowadays, it's not so cool. It's just a thing. So really, really cool. Keep your eye out for these phones. You can't pay too much. Plus, it's electronic. The likelihood of it not working is very, very high, especially due to its age as well too. Cracked screens, busted. Do the best you possibly can to determine the condition just visually, and then being able to test it later. Because typically, I find them at the flea market. That's where I'll find them for about $1 or $2 at the most. And they charge. This one charged with a mini USB cord. So just be aware of that. Make sure to have plenty of charging ports available. One interesting thing about these Razor phones, when I go to plug them in, it'll say unable to charge, or please use a Motorola charger, or please use official charger, something to that effect. It'll tell you that you're not using the right charger. It'll still work, but it'll tell you you're not using the right charger for some reason. Maybe that was a thing back in the day. I don't really remember that, but nonetheless, it'll still work. So cool device. Keep your eye out for them. I am a vintage cell phone collector, so I do collect them. I have plenty of them. I find these all the time. So, you know, and it's not really, they do sell. I'd rather sell them than keep them. They're not anything really that I would keep, but I do collect vintage cell phones. A stuffed animal. I don't feature too many stuffed animals on here because there's not really much that are worth it. But this was really cool. I picked this up at the flea market, and Cloud9 vintage dinosaur, just the neon, the neon colors, the vintage look to it. That's what really drew me to it, and that's why I thought I can get it sold. It's not very much, $16.81. Shipping was fairly high because it was very long. It wasn't soft. It's pretty filled up with plush in there, so it's pretty stiff. So I wasn't gonna be able to squeeze this down. I had to put this in a box. $13.21 is what it sold for. So you don't want to pay very much. You do not want to pay $1 or $2. And if I remember correctly, I think I got this for $1 at the flea market. I think it was the dollar box truck guy. Because I would not have paid that much for this plush at all. It's cool. It's cool. But it's not going to sell for that much. It is going to sell, and it did sell, but it's not going to sell for that much. So, cool item. Really retro, vintage piece here. It's a dinosaur. Dinosaurs appeal to a lot of people. So if you have dinosaurs, keep your house, post them. People love dinosaurs. They gotta be good, somewhat good. They're not gonna post just, generic, plastic dinosaurs. But Jurassic Park stuff sells really well. Like even the modern stuff, it still sells pretty well. It's not gonna sell for that much, but if you can get it for a really good price, you get big bundles of it and bundle them together, they will sell pretty well. I sold out through all my Jurassic Park. I remember I bought a bunch of Jurassic Park Raptors, and I just bundled them up and sold them all off one by one, each bundle, and it did pretty well. Oh, and then this is the last thing? This is the last thing. Threshold. So Threshold is a Target, where you would find Threshold at Target. Whether Target owns Threshold or not, I don't really know, but I know all Threshold comes from Target. So these candle holders, Halloween stuff sells all the time. Not necessarily everything Halloween sells all the time, but these candle holders sold pretty well. I knew they would sell well, even after Halloween. Skeletons do incredibly well. I probably wouldn't get like the those cardboard skeletons that you post as decor. Those you might have to wait till Halloween. But other types of pieces, skeleton pieces do really well. I know, I worked in orthopedics for a while, so, they had skeleton stuff there all the time. Skeleton pens, they had skeleton stuff. Everything was a skeleton. But these things sell all the time, and I knew they would sell year round, and I knew I could get them sold, even though we were out of Halloween when we even picked this up. $33.71 is what they sold for. $13.56 is what the shipping was. Oh, this went into 1410 box. The dinosaur actually went into a box. So my packaging paper comes in a box, a dispensing box, and I just save the boxes. They're not the best boxes. They're pretty thin, so you don't want to put anything delicate in them. But they came in handy for a plush animal. So I was able to put two of them together, and it fit in there. Did I say what the other things sold for? The phone went in a small padded poly bag. And I said what the mug went into. But keep your eye out for some items sell year round. Sometimes it might be difficult to determine what sells year round, but skeleton stuff sells year round. Candle holders sell year round. So you get a combination of the two. You got an item that will sell all the time. Gothic decor, as you saw. Gothic decor in my thing. Home. I probably could have put home in there. Didn't have enough room for it. It did have a metallic or metal sheen. Could have put chrome in there as well too. Candle holder, skeleton hand. I got enough keywords in there to get it sold. These were fairly heavy. Not crazy. I believe the total weight was around 4 pounds, so fairly heavy for what I deal in all the time. But they still went out. They still went out the door. Still sold fairly quickly, and I'm very happy with the sale. Very happy with the sales here. Let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna get this video, finish up this video, get it out. So I still got to do a thumbnail and all the rest of the other specifics. Let me know what you guys think of what I talked about and about what sold in the video. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one. Hey, you've made it to the end. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please like the video by hitting the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel by hitting my little round icon down below. It really does help us out here. Also, you'll find a couple of selections. You'll see a playlist of videos to watch and my most recent video that I did upload.